In this episode, I'm going to start off with 3 tips and a story on how to level up your mindset to live, learn, and lead in this ever-changing world. Welcome to UpSkill Talks. I'm your host, Michel Shah, Lead UpSkiller at UpSkill Community. Harvard Business School wrote about the MSK framework, which is the Mindset, Skills, and Knowledge framework. What Harvard argues is that the mindset is the foundation for all skill development and all knowledge acquisition, and certainly for how we live, learn, and lead. And so what I want to do today is just talk through a little bit about what we mean when we say mindset. What is your definition? You may be thinking the way that we think, how we see the world. These are very popular definitions. The mental frame that we use to process everything in our world. It's the way that we interpret our world. It's our perspective of the world. There's so many different ways that we define what we mean by mindset. But really, fundamentally, mindset is what determines how we think and how we behave. And certainly that is essential for anyone who has to learn, like leaders, like students, like our neighbors, like all of us have to be learning in this world. And especially for those of us who lead, our mindset is essential. It determines what is possible within an organization, what's possible in a home, what's possible in a community, what's possible in a country. The mindset of the leaders, the mindset of the people is fundamental to what is possible and what's not possible. In practical terms, you can think about your mindset as how we change our glasses. If you have on your dark glasses, things will look a little bit darker. If you have on a different color glasses, things will look a little bit colorful. If it's a red lens or a yellow lens, or the lens will impact what you see. Mindset is kind of like that. It affects what you see, but more importantly, it affects how you interpret your experiences, what you see, feel, everything like that. I want you to think about your mindset also as an operating system. The operating system in your devices, you have devices, and you will see sometimes it will prompt you to upgrade your operating system. So even on your devices, we don't take our operating system for granted. We know that an outdated operating system can't run certain programs. You're going to get an error message if you try to run certain programs on an outdated application, an outdated operating system. So even on our devices, we are from time to time updating our operating system. Never mind our minds, the way we process our whole world, all the programs that we run, all the applications that we run. We have to make sure we're wired to be able to run those applications. And it is challenging to run a conflict management application, to run an inclusive leadership application, to run an application where we coach, where we support, where we have empathy, where we have to slow down, where we don't get the results that we want and it's somebody else's fault and we need to make sure that our operating system is up to par to be able to process the complexity, the unpredictability, all of the things that's affecting our world right now. If you imagine, many of us had to update our operating system to deal with the pandemic and all that came out of it. And we're continuing so many changes that update has to continue to happen. So that's really what I think about when I'm thinking about your operating system and how you can think about it. When was the last time you updated your operating system? Is it on auto update? When was the last time you updated your mindset? I like to think about one of 2 ways that we can go about this. We can set it to run automatically, more like a swimming pool, where some of the dirty water goes out and fresh water comes in. It's constantly replenishing itself so that it stays fresh. You can structure a system like that by engaging in ongoing dialogue with colleagues, by participating in programs, by traveling, exposing yourself, taking courses. All of these things are ways that we can automatically replenish and update our mindset. But today I'm going to talk about 3 approaches that we can take to intentionally disrupt update, and evolve our mindset. Number one, thinking about our thinking. Now, remember that as leaders, as learners, our job is to think. And so any other artist or professional takes a step back and reviews their work. If you're a writer, you edit your work. If you are an artist, you look at your work. If you are an accountant, you review the numbers. As thinkers, therefore, we need to be thinking about our thinking, editing our own thinking, exploring, looking at it, auditing it. What I want you to do today is to think about two different systems for thinking that the literature spends a lot of time on. System 1 thinking and System 2 thinking. These are very simple ways of thinking about it. System 1 thinking is the automatic way that we think. The estimates, the guesstimates, the patterns in our mind, the experiences that we have that help us to predict, to estimate, to guesstimate, to make assumptions, generalizations. That's what System 1 is. So if you saw a log and you wanted to figure out how long it was, you could estimate based on experience approximately how long it was. System 2, that's System 1 thinking. System 2 thinking, though, would say, get a tape measure and measure it so that you would have an objective measurement. In simple terms, that's the distinction between System 1 and System 2. When we are thinking about our thinking, it's recognizing that we do a lot of our thinking in System 1 mode, in automatic mode, using generalizations, assumptions, interwoven with our biases and perceptions, locked in beliefs and cultural pieces that we are unaware of. Unconsciously, we do a lot of this. System 2 thinking says, let us then examine these assumptions using objective measures to see if what we assumed was correct. Did our estimates make sense? And so System 2 is an opportunity to think about your automatic thinking. And so that's one strategy that's really important for us as leaders, to always be thinking about our thinking, recognizing we're typically in automatic mode, but giving ourselves that opportunity, space, time to stop and look at our own thinking, look at our work, look at our output. That may be a reflection, that may be a pause, that may be inviting a thinking partner to think with you, to go over your thoughts, to see if they make sense. That may be feedback. That may be meditation. That may be pulling objective strategies and measurements and going through thinking and critical thinking frameworks. Whatever that is for you, find strategies to think about your thinking. That's number one. Think about your thinking. Number two, use others as mirrors to see yourself more clearly. This is the idea that self-awareness, knowing ourselves fully, comes not only from us staying in our own heads and determining who we are, but that who we are is also sitting in other people's minds, and other people have perspectives on us. They see us sometimes a little bit more clearly. They see our blind spots and so on. So they can provide us with some clarity around who we are by balancing off maybe our biased thoughts. And those people should be some people that you intentionally go and seek feedback from. But that also needs to be people who unexpectedly come from different places and from different groups and provide fresh perspectives. And when you are seeking feedback and using others for mirror, be careful that you don't go to the same mirrors that look like yours, so you see the same thing that you want to see. That confirmation bias of going to seek feedback from the people who think like you and who will tell you what you want to hear, and dismissing everyone who will not tell you what you don't want to hear, who will not confirm your own ideas about yourself. But go to people who will disrupt your own understanding and give you an opportunity to update your own mindset, to think differently, to expand that opportunity, your thinking mechanism, your own capabilities, because everything is limited by what you can think about. All right, so that's two. And I want to share a story with you that highlights the importance of us making sure that our thinking is clear and open and broad and expansive so that we can engage with big opportunities and we can take our teams and our families and our communities on a journey that takes us somewhere rather than giving up opportunities because with the limited lens we have, with our small mindset, we can't see what's in front of us. The story is told of a company that manufactured shoes that heard of another country where people are not wearing a lot of shoes. And they sent their 2 top salesmen to the country to get the lay of the land, do the exploratory research, and figure out what exactly are we dealing with here? Do we have an opportunity? Both salesmen went and did the exploration, saw the exact thing. Nobody in the country was wearing shoes. Salesman A got back to the country, got back to the plant and said, no opportunity there. Nobody there wears shoes. No need to waste our time sending shoes there. They don't value shoes. They're not going to buy anything from us. Salesman B came back, saw the same thing, came back with different news. Says, send every shoe we have and start manufacturing more. Nobody there wears shoes. There's great opportunity there. They don't have it. I'm confident they value it. Let's get shoes over there. This is going to be big. And see, it's the same situation that both salesmen went and explored. One saw it because his mindset was broad enough, open enough to see it. The other looked at the same situation, but did not have the lens to interpret it as an opportunity, saw nothing that meant moving forward. In what ways are there opportunities in front of you that you're not seeing? What are you losing out on because you are not seeing the opportunities? This would be really tough to find out that big opportunities like these are missing us because our lens are not allowing us to interpret. We are limited by our mindsets. And that's why this is going to be very important. Number 3 tip that I'm going to share with you today is to think about the future. Think long term. It's very easy for us to think about, here's a big elephant, let's eat it. But as you know, the quote says, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. And when we think about the big task of eating an elephant and that we have to go through this 1 bite at a time, it teaches us that the lens has to be open to recognize the need to collaborate, the need to seek support, the need to have long-term strategies and long-term thinking, reduce the anxiety and the need that everything has to get done yesterday. But to think about the future, think about celebrating little progress, think about 1 bite at a time, moving in the right direction to take on some of the big challenges that we have, to engage with some of the big opportunities that we have, because we can't get it done overnight. That's a mindset shift, that we will get it done if we bring more people on board, if we collaborate more effectively, if we get more ideas and more eyes on it, more perspectives, and we all work together to do the heavy lifting. That's a mindset shift that can help us to seize opportunities, to be able to see more of what's in front of us and be able to go after it. Thank you for listening to this episode of UpSkill Talks. I'm your host, Michel Shah, and again, a new episode we provide for you every Monday. Remember, take a moment to subscribe, share a review, share with your friends, and follow us wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, go to upskillcommunity.com for show notes and the entire list of podcasts in one place. At UpSkill Community, we're an open innovation community of leaders having conversations live every Thursday evening, 7 p.m. You can join us. What we're doing is collaborating with each other to develop skills, knowledge, and expand our mindset so that we can produce amazing results. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I look forward to seeing you next time. Remember, think about your thinking. Let others hold a mirror for you. And long-term progress over short-term, overnight success. Long-term is a way to think. Take your mindset, expand it, look out for the opportunities. We can't afford to miss it. See you next time.